They got for Christmas.
You guys heard all the right? Flashlight.
Don't mess up my video.
Everybody's eyes are up here, right? Eyes up here. I'm talking. What else? Duck feet, pigeon feet, right? So when we talk about hitting, I always like to talk about our feet first. You want to have your feet fairly straight, right? The thing you don't want to have is you don't want to have pigeon feet where both feet are in like this. Correct? And you don't want to have duck feet where your feet are out like this. Right? And the reason for that is neither way. If you do this, you lock your hips up. You can't turn your hips. So the best is to have your feet perpendicular. You might even hear coaches tell some of us to just turn your back toe in a little bit. Okay? Because that's going to let you drive off your knee.
Hey, how are you?
Okay, does everybody understand that? What's up, Tony?
Good.
So that's your feet, boys. Right? Now, when we're standing there, we're rocking back and forth. Most of our weight is on the inside part of our legs and on the inside toes. This is where most of our weight is, right? Because we're not on the outsides, we're on the insides, ready to go. Okay? Our knees are going to be slightly bent, right? Our waists are going to bend over slightly to be ready to go. So we got our feet, knees, waist slightly bent, right? Where does your back go? First, let's talk about where does your back go in your hands. Do I grab the bat in my palm?
No, your fingers.
No, where do you put it?
Fingers.
In your fingers. So you're going to put that bat somewhere right around in your fingertip, right there. Not on your fingertips, but right on the end of your finger and right where your palm starts. Right? See that right there? And you want both of them right there. Does anybody know why you put your hands on the grip that way? Why, Antonio?
I was thinking about to raise my hand. Until you said grip, I raised my hand down.
It's all right. So as you do that, a couple things we're going to test, right? We can see that by what you call knocking knuckles, right? These are the knuckles that you would knock on the door. They don't have to be, but usually they're going to be lined up. You see how my knuckles are lined up, straight up and down? Right? Sometimes you guys have batting gloves that look like that. The reason for that is so that you have a lot of whip on your bat, right? Nice and loose. See how loose I am? Now if I put it in my palm and I grab it really hard, do you think I can be loose like this? I can't. Let me show you why. What happens is, see the hole in the bat? Notice the bat can't go up straight. It's got an arc to it. You see that? Right? You see that? I can't swing that bat straight because I'm locking my wrist up. If I keep it in my fingers, I now don't lock my wrist up, and I can get a much level swing. And really, when we start hitting, you're going to get a better whip on the bat, and that's what's going to drive the baseball through there. Okay? You got your feet, knees, a little bent over at your hips, right? Knocking knuckles are lined up. Where does your bat go?
At your head.
At your head. What do we talk about? Telephone, right? Telephone. Everybody's going to be slightly different. Some people might be a little higher, some people might be out a little more, but somewhere around your telephone, right? So if you just rest the bat on your shoulder, you just lift it up, that sounds about right. Right? Right about there. Where's your flashlight go? Flashlight should be facing in the other batter's box. That's right. So we got our feet straight towards the plate. Our knees slightly bent at the hips, right? Knocking knuckles are lined up. I can check that by either seeing the knocking knuckles, or your coach might say, show me your knuckles. All I gotta do is put your two fingers up. Two fingers will point straight up. If I have the bat buried in my hands, and I say, show me your knocking knuckles, see what happens? Because it's buried, that's not good. You wanna have nice free, right? Telephone, and a flashlight's in the other box, okay? So that's your stance. Next, what's the next part of your swing? Go ahead.
You twist your foot.
Yeah. But we don't really twist our foot, right? And that's a little bit of a misconception. People probably hear about like squish the bug, right? Have you ever heard squish the bug? And that's okay, there's nothing wrong with that, right? You end up squishing the bug, but it's really not your foot squishing a bug, it's really your knee. And what you're trying to do is drive your knee into your front ankle. And if you do that correctly, and you drive your knee into that ankle, you end up squishing the bug. But it's not artificially squishing the bug, because then all you're gonna do is fly open. But before we do that, before we drive that, right, we have our stance. What's our next step after we have our stance? What are we gonna do as the pitch is about to be delivered? What is it called?
Low.
Load. Joey paid attention last year.
Attaboy.
Good job, Joey. Load. Now when we load, right, a couple things to point out on a load. Your flashlight goes from the batter's box to what? Somebody besides Joey. Where should that flashlight be facing?
The catcher's plate.
Catcher's knee, right? Now you're towards the catcher's knee. The flashlight is going to be at the catcher's knee. We don't want to wrap the bat and have it facing the backstop. Subtle towards the catcher's knee. All your hands are doing is going to go backwards, right? We're not twisting, we're just going to hands go backwards. What's your front foot doing? Tony, what's your front foot doing?
Taking a step forward.
It's taking a step forward. How are we taking a step forward though? Are we stepping hard?
No.
No, nice and light, right? We're gonna step forward nice and light. We're gonna run the ball on our toe, right? Think about stepping on eggs, right? You don't wanna step hard because you don't want your eyes to bounce. So as we step forward, we're gonna get what's called separation. See my hands and my foot? Notice how they separate? It's stretching out all these big muscles, getting ready to load up, right? You're loading up, you're stretching those muscles out, and you're ready to just let all that power go, right? And you're just gonna release it on the baseball, right? Okay, so we got our stance, we got our load, now we're ready to hit. Your next movement is gonna be that knee, right? And now you're gonna drive. As your knee goes first, everything else is gonna happen. Your knee's gonna go, your back hip's gonna start to go, and then your hands are gonna go. And your hands are gonna go right to the baseball. We'll work on a couple drills today on getting our hands to the baseball. A lot of guys, and I always like to say, you don't go A to B to C, right? So this would be, I'm in A, I'm gonna load, B, C. We don't wanna do that, right? We wanna come A, straight to C. Okay? A lot of you guys do, you wanna try to drop your bat and go to B, and then come through with C. And you're losing a lot of power doing that. So we're gonna start focusing on going A to C. Everybody understand that? Keep our bat, your bat should stay closer to your shoulder to get the whip. As you come down, your bat's gonna be nice and close to your shoulder, and then you're gonna, that's where you're, the reason why the bat is in your fingertips. So now I got this whip, boom, to drive the baseball. So I'm here, boom, and now I can drive that baseball. Okay? And then contact point, and we'll stop. As I make contact point, right? Notice my knees already turned, but more importantly, my palm, my top hand's up, my bottom hand's down. Okay? My back elbow is gonna be close to my rib cage. And again, this is why that back elbow, sometimes you guys wanna release out, that's no good. Your back elbow is gonna drive into your body because this is stronger. Coach, can you come over here? I wanna show him it's stronger. So if I keep my knee, my elbow in, watch Coach try to push that bat back. That's fairly strong, Coach. Now, if I don't keep my elbow in and I come out long, now push back, Coach. I can't push him as much. Try hard. I can't push him as much. But if I stay here, now go, Coach. He can't pull my back. This is power. When you make contact, do you want to be in that position, that power position, or do you want to be in a very weak position? Power position to drive the baseball, right? So come through, hands palm up, palm down, and then we're gonna release high. We're gonna let our hands go, and we're gonna release high. Questions? Questions? I know that was a lot. Everybody got all those buzzwords?
Yes. Yeah.
So we're not gonna talk about squishing the bug, we're gonna talk about driving our knee into our ankle. Right? We'll talk about flashlight, we'll talk about telephone. We'll do a lot of those. Any questions, Coach? Anything else to add? Any misconceptions? Anything anybody, some of the kids talk about?
Cover dropping the back and cover squishing the bug. And I think you're right on.
Yeah, I guess the last one that we'll talk about too, guys, is a lot of people talk about your elbow. Right? So if I'm here, there's reasons to have your elbow up, and there's reasons not to. Most of you guys aren't strong enough. There's a couple guys in the major leagues, Albert Pujols probably being the one of them, that their elbow's way up here, right? And the reason why is if you bring your elbow up, what happens is you start to turn your top hand, and look where the bat goes in my hand. And now I created a hole in my swing by doing that. So there's reasons to do it. Different people's swings, we might have your elbow come up a little higher. You probably never see an elbow come up to parallel, but maybe just below parallel here, right? Somewhere that's comfortable. But there's reasons for it and there's reasons not to do it. At your age, unless your forearms are as big as Coach Thorne's, then you're probably not going to get your elbow up that high because you're not powerful enough to get that bat through and to consistently drive the baseball. It makes it very difficult.
Focus on not stepping out. You got a lot of guys last year, when we were swinging, we were stepping out. So make sure we're swinging, we're stepping forward or slightly in. Stay in the box this year, okay? That's what we got to work on. Because a lot of times you're losing a lot of power. You guys, you'll step out or you'll move both feet. Just keep that foot, keep where you are here and stepping and driving that bat.
It's good. You had good swings, but you were losing all that power by stepping out.
As soon as you start moving your back,